Out of the dusty and clustered urban settlements of Mzansi, townships are born, culture is born. We not raised by the invasions of 1652, laws of 1948, and the Act of 1950. Although we are systematic casualties, we remain steadfast and pregnant with ideas, visions, and the urge to exceed the wider gaze that lead to destruction. It's 2023. Classified culture is born. We are delighted to serve you.
Classified. Ayivele sesiqalile ke.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's Classified Culture Podcast. We welcome you to the podcast as usual, guys. You know, I'm rolling with my brother here, Sfiso Kunene.
Have you started?
Yeah, we started.
So the show is on.
We're rolling, Baba.
I thought like it's a test.
No.
It's not a test.
Nah, we are done.
All right. Anyway, welcome to Classified Culture Podcast. This is the second and final edition of our series on music and culture within our societies, right?
Yeah. Even though there was a lot of,
What?
behind the scenes that we don't want to speak about.
But let's tell the viewers that today's show was not planned.
That's the thing.
We just decided to shoot.
Nah, I told you I hate that, man.
Why do it like?
Nah. If we wanna do a free show, let's do a free show. You get what I
No,
mean?
but we have to give people something. You've kept them waiting for so long.
A free show is also something.
But then what would we be discussing in that free show?
We freestyle,
Yeah?
we freestyle.
We'll freestyle next week about that.
Nah, next week, I've got obligations.
What?
Bruh.
So those applications are bigger than the podcast.
Nah, but obviously at times you
Can't
need
they
to...
wait?
No. Listen, at times you need to prioritize. So as much as I'm here today, and I'll still be here for the podcast,
Yeah.
that does not necessarily mean that I'm, not prioritizing for the podcast or anything. But there are plans that are made, and we need to, attend to those plans.
All right.
Because ME time is very important.
Apparently, ME time is me time and it's important. Ladies and gentlemen, the other host of the show is Tebu. Give it up to him. We are back. We are so excited to be back. And this is NQF Level 10 podcast. As we always say that we do, tend to discriminate on the basis of intellect and IQ level.
Hallelujah.
Don't we?
Nah, you do. Don't say don't we. Don't put me.
What about when?
No, I don't.
Tebu, before we start,
I think even on our episode that we did at Artis, when you said something along those lines at the beginning of the show, I kind of like reprimanded you. But anyway,
yeah, but I don't mean it like literally. You know, like what I mean. Dude.
Nah,
like
well,
I think our audience they get it when I say that.
I guess so.
But Tebu, before we start the show, dude, I just want you to give our viewers a little bit of a background of what we discussed the last time, since this is the final show that we're going to do. Just give our viewers a little bit of a background of what we discussed.
Okay, so guys, on our part 1 of music, we discussed we started off with some bit of background in music, and obviously we're focusing on music in South African townships as a whole. We touched on our legends, we touched on a different type of music, the genres that we all know, and we also touched on different artists that contributed towards what music is today in South Africa. So as much as we had a lengthy discussion about that, as you'll see in episode 1 for those of you that haven't watched yet, but yeah, we basically just had a lot of information that we needed to dish out. Obviously music is quite lengthy as it is. It speaks to the soul, so we had decided that we're gonna do part 2 today, which is why we are airing this episode today.
Yeah. So you always ask me this question, dude.
Which one?
And I thought like this is an opportunity for me to ask you as well, right?
Which question?
How just reflect on your week, leading to this today's episode. How have you been?
My week, my brother. I've had a quite
Glad you say I'm your brother.
Yeah, in in those terms of Africanism, Ubuntu.
Okay.
I've had a, how can I sum up my week? Started out a bit slow,
Mm.
and then yeah, it got going, and started being busy, and yeah. Rather than that, I think everything was just smooth sailing. Yeah, I didn't have no fights this week. Not that I'm a fighting person, but you know what I mean.
But like, do you have like, do you wanna share any highlights, regarding what has been happening in the media in South Africa, as far as the Olympics are concerned?
To be
Miss
quite
South
honest,
Africa, or would you rather not, engage
no,
in
no,
those
no.
topics?
I would like to, but the thing is, I've had so little time to actually consume television,
Yeah.
and as well as just picking up. I've seen. I
Yeah,
think.
but me and you, we hardly ever consume television.
Yeah,
Right?
so
Let's be honest.
it's but
We hardly
except
ever
for
watch
soccer,
television.
I'm a soccer fan. But then to share something, let me think.
I mean, like, there's a lot. There's Miss SA, the Chidima thing. Then
I don't want to dive into that because
there's GNU. There's Gayton McKenzie, who's been very vocal.
yeah, hence I'm saying like I haven't been.
There's the Olympics. Akane Simbile, they just won a silver medal.
Maybe you best fitted to talk about it since you have so much information in terms of what happened during the course of the week.
Dude, like, to be quite honest with you, I think me and you are on the same page here. Because, like,
Honestly,
most of the news, by the way, including the Olympics, I have not been watching the Olympics for the first time. Quite, honestly, because I've been busy.
given
But-
that you're an athlete yourself,
Well,
Hello?
I don't look like it anymore.
well,
I
who
used to be
cares?
an athlete
Who
back in
cares?
the days before I got married and had children. Not that being married is wrong, guys, please. So, dude, I have not, everything that I know is because of Twitter, which is now called X, formerly called Twitter.
You see, you follow.
That's
that.
how I know that Akane Simbine won, and then obviously there's those videos, that you play via Twitter. But other than that, I've not been following the athletics. But I'm proud that there's a guy called Tebuho from Botswana,
Yeah, I saw that.
and then Akane Simbine, and obviously Kenya is always leading. So I'm proud of the African guys that have really, done well, and put Africa on the world map. world
is
stage.
South Africa doing well though?
South Africa is doing fairly well. Yeah.
Any gold medalist that we should?
I'm at the moment I'm not sure,
Acknowledge.
but I know there's a swimmer. I think it's Siakoli's. I didn't want to introduce her like that. Hey, it's because I forgot her name, but it's Siakoli's sister. No, it's not a sister-in-law. I don't know, but then it's related to Siakoli's somehow. Her name is Smith.
How
Guys, I feel so embarrassed at the moment, and I'm sorry, guys. I've not been following.
is
But
she
she-
from the wife's side of the family?
Yes.
Yeah, she is a
No. I
sister-in-law.
think she's married to Kolisi's sister's brother. Does it even make sense?
Sister's brother.
Yeah. So
Let's repeat the
so
Kholi's sister's brother.
no. Her no, guys. Okay, wait.
No, it's fine.
Okay, wait. What's Kolisi's wife?
No, man.
Rachel Kolis. So Rachel Kolis' brother married this girl who got a gold medal for swimming, I think. And
Oh,
yeah,
she is. Then
I know that her surname is
sister-in-law.
Smith, but then I forgot her name, and she's just brilliant. You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean, who doesn't know that? The other.
Yeah. Before we embarrass ourselves
I don't want
more.
to say, but yeah.
The thing is, you know what? I wanted to introduce her properly. You know what I mean? Because she's a gold medalist. She's participating in the Olympics. The highest platform in terms of athletics worldwide. I did not want to introduce her as Sia Kolisis or Rachel Kolisis, whatever. But because I forgot her name.
Yeah, but I think that people do know.
Yeah, and then there's
shout out.
Akane Simbine. We spoke about Tebuho. We spoke about those guys from Kenya who are doing well. And then,
Hey, don't speak about guys from Kenya, dude. Hey.
yeah. So guys, in the studio today, it's myself, it's Depa, and it's Debo only. There's no Sydney, there's no Sai. because
And
Baba
Zepa is busy. Kadilo tsa there.
Unfortunately, our crew members, Sydney Lesai, Baba Tlapentli ka weekend,
Hey, ke ngotla pentla.
Baba Trapile.
Hey, where? I don't know if there's.
I don't
It's the
know,
first
nah,
time.
dude, you the one who told me Osai Bamshapile.
I wasn't even here. I don't even live here.
So Abam Tlapentla.
I don't know. You told me.
All right. Anyway, so
No. It's also.
dude, I don't
You
know
can
the
just
story.
say-
I
you
don't
can
know the
just pop
story.
up a story about our crew members. and
No,
say
dude,
that.
I just head through
I'm
the.
worried sick. Obakokai.
No, I just
All you come here.
dude, I heard through
as-
the grapevine that some of our crew members during the weekend, they were scrutinized.
That's not a nice way of putting it, though.
Yeah?
That's not a nice way of putting it.
No, dude,
These are
like,
colleagues.
and I love them so much.
We don't know about that.
Wherever they are.
You seem to be happy with what Bentley when I'm at.
No, Baba Tlapentli. So we're gonna find out Baba Tlapentli.
You can't say such things. You can't. You honestly cannot say such things in this platform.
All right, then let's look at the different townships as we do it, as is the norm.
Okay, fair enough.
Which province are we looking at?
I don't know, man.
We looked at Free State last episode.
Yeah. Look, man. I think musically.
No. Let's look at the look at the township.
Just
the
listen.
province.
Just listen.
Okay,
I think
my bad.
Musically, the province that also produced a lot of talents is KZN. So let's dive in.
After Gauteng, of course.
I said, you see, you don't listen.
No.
I said another province.
Oh.
Spiso?
Okay.
Come down.
No. But another.
Yes.
So which one is the first?
Obviously, dude. Oh, you just said it.
Oh, okay. It's Gauteng. For those that didn't hear me.
You just said it.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's shout out KZN.
Yeah, but KZN, yeah, no, they pretty much done well in terms of the arts. I mean, back in the days, we spoke about Bombong and Ngema. Back in the days, he has contributed a lot to arts, music, in South Africa, as well as the film and theater.
So
Yeah.
I feel that we should shout out KZN.
Newcastle.
Ematadin.
Yep, that's Newcastle still. Mpangeni.
Umlazi.
Nkandla.
It's kind of in a township.
It is. Mtubatuba.
Fryhead.
Belleville.
Is it Bergville or Belleville?
Both, I guess.
Okay, aye, bra.
Zepa, what are the other townships that you know from KZN? Guys, there's another place other than Umlazi, which is equally as dangerous. It's Umlazi, and there's another one.
I have no idea, to be quite honest with you, and
So we only know those areas in KZN. This is so embarrassing, guys. Like, I feel so.
why is it embarrassing? We don't
Because
even,
my family.
even if you ask anyone. Oh,
Okay,
wait.
but then there's
Yeah,
Lady
well.
Smith, there's Dandy, there's Bergville,
You said it before.
and then there's that other place that I forgot.
There's
Potchefstroom, thank you, Zepa. But I want that
Maritzburg.
particular place,
Maritzburg.
which is as famous as that one that they spoke about, where they always kill people.
Mkungundlovu.
No, come on, dude, you can't do that.
Oh, that's a king. Kingindlovu, king.
No, dude, you can't do that.
Okay, I KZN.
Shout out to KZN. We love you so much, guys.
Kingindlovu Antiva.
I don't know what's that place.
Ah, man, swear it is in KZN.
No. Not at least like where my family stays, I got it right, which is like Newcastle.
Everyone is from Newcastle.
So Tebu, before we begin the show, dude, I want to ask you a question. Which are the type of artists that you think that they are our greatest exports in South Africa? Meaning that those type of artists that have done well internationally.
Meaning now, currently, or
From the 1950s, we can take it back. Just the South African musicians or artists that have carried us, and they have actually marketed us, the brand South Africa, artistically. in the world.
You have to look at the likes of, Mirriam Makeba, Hugh Masekela, who's that other artist again?
Dorothy Masuku,
Dorothy Masuku,
Brenda.
And those people, I think they've paved the way for South Africa to be known. Even though there was, oppression and segregation at that time, hence they were there. But then I think now that we are in this new generation, a lot of guys are making it out there. We look at Pop Black Coffee, we're looking at Bo Major League.
Tyler. No. Tyler. She has a Grammy. She has a pt2. She's now been nominated for the MTVs.
Yeah, and McCarthy as well.
Yeah, but McCarthy is not on Tyler's level international. Let's be honest.
But yeah, we're looking at black people like
Tyler is black.
No, she did not say that she was black when
she did.
No, she did not. She claimed to be colored.
Yeah,
and it sparked.
Colored is black.
No, I think that we need to distinguish like this thing,
All right. Okay.
We can't have Tyler coming here and claiming that she's not black and she's colored. But when she's out there, and then she claims that she's not black again, that she is colored.
First of all, she doesn't claim. Right?
She does. She was asked on an interview that, how do you classify yourself?
But she didn't. But you see, even the question was wrong, because Tyler did not choose to be colored.
True.
Colored, it's a classification of a group of people.
True.
Who have like a common culture in South Africa, historically so, and they've even have their own places where they stay as a result of the Group Areas Act of 1950.
Yes.
Right? That classified people on the basis of race. Remember we spoke earlier about the pencil test, etc. So it is unfair for the world, to impose, their ideas of racial classification on Tyler. Tyler did not wake up in the morning and say that I am colored. Colored people is a race in South Africa, which has been recognized by our constitution. They've got their own culture, their own way of doing things, and they've got their designated places, such as El Dorado Park.
True.
Such as Cape Flats.
But they don't consider themselves as black.
But then,
regardless of what we can say historically or what is currently happening, they themselves don't consider themselves
But then you
black.
need to define what is black.
Black is me and you.
No. But
black is beautiful. Black is melanin.
We did not decide that we want to be black, Debu. That's one thing that you need to know.
I would choose black any day and every day.
The classification of blackness is a colonial construct in itself, because people, they wanted to differentiate themselves from us, the colonizers, and then because of our skin color, right, versus theirs, and then they decided that we're going to be called black. We did not decide that we're going to be black. So being black, therefore, it's a construct of colonialism, right?
True.
In the contemporary world, what does being black? Being black means the people that have been historically oppressed, colonized. And those people, who are those people? They include the so-called African people, the Bantu people, they include the Khoisans, they include the colored people, they include Indians. So those people who were defined as black by colonialists and that were displaced, they were oppressed, they were colonized, they had their land, their resources, and they were disenfranchised. So those people, they are black people everywhere else in the world.
But she still does not consider herself black. Those are facts.
But is it her?
Is it her?
But she found a situation like that. She was born into a colored family.
So we can
colored location.
Listen.
Colored language.
We can, in terms of when it comes to, colors, right? That those light types, that they say that banana types or whatever. I'm not like saying it's me, it's saying that. And then there's those that look exactly like us. Remember that day where that boy who came to cut our hair? And it was actually the first color that I had who looks exactly like me and claims to be black.
Okay.
Yes. Because most of them say that they're not.
Yeah, but it's not fair, for us to impose how colored, should identify or they should classify themselves.
You look
right?
exactly like me. We have people who look exactly like them.
But they will, myself and you, our parents, our great grandparents, are Africans.
True.
We don't have we don't have a generational mix. You know what I mean? We don't.
You?
No, we don't.
No, you.
Okay, anyway. So you spoke about Mirriam Makeba, but there's something special that I want to share about Mirriam Makeba, right? Do you know that Mirriam Makeba is the first African female, or male for that matter, to win a Grammy Award?
Yeah, I think you did mention that.
In the 1960s, for that album with Harry Belafonte, who recently passed away. I think the name of the album was An Evening with Mirriam Makeba and Harry Belafonte in the 1960s. World superstar. And there was not the first South African, the first African to win a Grammy.
Yeah, I think you did mention that in that first part that we had discussed. It's like I was saying, the popularity of our artist putting us there in the map. It's got to do with a lot of, I think our music is diverse. I think our music carries, a lot of, like authenticity about what Africa is. So taking it out there, or it being taken out there, is a true reflection of who we are. Because I also love artists that stay true to who they are, stay true to their brand, stay true to their culture, because our music is cultured. Look at Bo Lady Smith, Black Mambas. Did not even change nothing. They went out there, they showed the world what they're made of, in turn putting us out there.
It's funny that you say that, when this is a very interesting topic, because like I agree with you. I feel like you need to give the world something which is authentic. You need to sell something that the world has not seen before. And if you look at the artists that have been successful internationally, the likes of Mirriam Makeba, the likes of Bo Letambuli, who sang with Michael Jackson on that song Liberian Girl. The likes of Kyla, for example, they sing authentic, South African music, South African sound, and that's what they sell to the world because it's unique. It's something that the world has not heard. You spoke about Lady Smith, Black Mambas. There's Bo Tandiswa, there's Bo Busimhlongo. It's one of my favorite artists.
No, you love Tandiswa. I know that.
Yeah. So I feel like the reason why Elaine and SDC, they haven't done well in the music industry, talented as they are, is because they're giving Americans what America have in abundance. You cannot give America hip hop and R&B and do it like them with their accent, with their English. No, give them something unique. They've got that in abundance. They are the best when it comes to that. And I think that's what Tyler's doing better than them.
True. You do have valid points there, my brother. You see, because at the end of the day, we wouldn't as a continent, let me put it like that, have someone from a foreign continent come in and try to do what we do best.
Yeah,
it would totally sound offish, first of all. Hence, I think why their music is, hence why their music is so big, and it had a lot of influence in Africa. It's because it's their years, So, I feel like as Africans, we need to do our own thing.
We need to sell our culture.
Yes, so that it's accepted as it is, that this is African.
Like Mapiano, like Kwaito.
True.
It's our own thing.
You see,
and even the whole world can recognize that this is a South African sound. That's why it's doing well internationally. So Tebu, of what you gave, our viewers like the background. So today, the last show that we had, we ended up with Bubblegum Music. We spoke about Bochiko. We spoke about Bo Ibon Chaka Chaka. So now from the 1980s up, from Bubblegum Music, we had Kwaito Music. So according to you, what was so different about Kwaito Music? It was the dawn of democracy in South Africa. So many of our leaders were being released from prison, and so many people that went into exile, they returned back into the country. So what do you think gave rise to the music that is called Kwaito Music?
First of all, I believe that it had to do, like you just said, there was an uprising coming.
Yeah.
We, as the people who were oppressed, now had opportunities.
We found our voice.
We found our voice,
found
basically.
expression.
Not that we didn't have, but it was now, something that was nationalized, something that everyone could listen to. So what the artists did, I believe that was very smart of them, was to show their frustrations, their hurt, and their talent, all combined in one. So I think Kwaito came into the scene as a mixture of that bubblegum music, but now it's sort of like carried a very strong message.
Vulgar sometimes.
True, that's what I'm saying.
Which was not popular with the elders at that time.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, Boom Shaka once did the national anthem, and Mandela was not impressed.
Boom Shaka?
Yeah, Mandela said, "Nyawathanda ama Boom Shaka, godwa ayangi."
Not you doing Mandela accent.
The bottom line is that
that was something else. I did not see that one coming.
No. Mandela said Angwathanda ama Boom Shaka.
Nah,
what pissed off Mandela? And I blame Kalawa Jazzme.
Yeah.
Mandela was pissed off because Boom Shaka took the national anthem,
Yeah.
and they Kwaitoized it.
Well. Hence I say there's creativity behind Kwaito. And one must look at that. Sometimes there's no need to follow rules. You need to be a maverick,
unconventional.
Yes, do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So well, that's the message I think that Kwaito had in mind, but also educating as well. We have songs. Like Bobo Ata, when he says like "Don't call me a kafir," such songs, they relate to our history.
Yeah,
they take you back, but also entertaining as well.
And for the first time, black people had a voice. They could express themselves. The way in which they wanted. They could express. They could express themselves and talk about their background, what they're going through, especially within their societies, without worrying about the government, which is going to ban them, which is going to censor them.
Yes.
So I think it was that, music genre which allowed people to speak about their daily lives, and find expression through music.
Music that didn't choose who you are, where you come from, but what you actually want to portray.
But they were in terms of the sound of Kwaito music, Kwaito music actually it was house music, and then they took house music and then I think they slowed down the tempo, and then they added indigenous, South African, lyrics and the South African diversity that we have, and that gave birth, to Kwaito as we know it today. And then the biggest producers of that time, I think it was I nearly mentioned Chico Twal. Chico Twal, I think, was famous for bubblegum music as well as disco music. But when we talk about Kwaito, the people that at the helm, DJ Christos, shout out to DJ Christos, shout out to Oskido, shout out to Nduma Silela, shout out to Manta Spikiri, shout out to Mawuta, Oskido together with Christos and Don Lag. They created Kalawa Jazzme. Kalawa. And then the Jazzme is from Mantla Spikiri and then Boma Wood, right?
So it was formerly
Yeah,
Kalawa Records.
it was Kalawa Records. Yeah, made up of their names or their surnames, right? And then Mdu created Walla Music, right? Walla Music, and then there was 999 Music by Atama Fukat.
Yeah.
So I think those are the main guys, dude, that were the main producers and the pioneers, when it comes to Kwaito music. And of course, there were other great producers as well and singers like Botok Shebilis. We can also mention Bo Goofy. You know Goofy?
Goofy from Sony.
No, yeah.
Well-
Yeah, it's Goofy from Sony Tape.
Yeah, it's from
Yeah.
Sony. Yeah.
Remember? Yeah, Podil. Goofy was one of the founders and the main producers, Malaik, later on.
Yeah, yeah.
But obviously, we know...
they had a recent spat. And
Yeah,
whatever.
we know Goofy from Enare Podile. You know that song? Remember that song? Yeah.
And then wasn't which recording label was Tebe under Konje?
Tebe was under Kalawa Jazzme.
Kalawa Jazzme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, under Kalawa. So I think the first artist that was released by Kalawa Jazzme is Boom Shaka. When they were still with DJ Christos. It's about time. I think that was their first, album. And then there was Trompies, there was POP, and then there was Bongo Muffin, and then there was Mafigizolo, and then there was Alaska from Kalawa Jazzme.
But that was like
Yeah.
towards the late 90s, early 2000s.
Absolutely. And then in 999 Music, you had Abashante, you had Arthur with his solo music, you had Chiscop. Chiscop. Yeah. I think its leader was Mendoza. And then later on, you had Bo, Ishmael, you had Speedy when she moved from Kalawa Jazzme from Bongo Muffin, and then he tried to do his solo. Then he had Bo Purity, and then Nestam did her solo album. Then Queen Sisoko did her solo album. And then from Walla Music there was Mdu. Once upon a time, actually, Mdu was working with TKZ, not TKZ, but Makesh.
Makesh, yeah.
Yeah, hence the first song from TKZ. Remember the first song from TKZ?
Which one?
Hey Lantate. You know that's a diss song. Ketsetsa mataitai. Ere ne kile kwana mashamplan. A fitla nketsa mataitai. So they're actually talking about him do that when they were still singing with Makesh. So Makesh was part of Mashamplan. And then in that song he claimed to do knock. That's why Arhela and Tate Mishimono gets some Taita in a Kilikwana, Mashamplan, a fitla nketsa mataitai. It's actually a diss song. Yeah, so that was the first song, TKZ, and then obviously we know that TKZ was one of the best, Kwaito groups of all time.
True.
Obviously, earlier on we mentioned Chiscorp, which was also great. My personal favorite, honestly, is Chiscorp. But I do acknowledge that TKZ made an impact when it comes to South African music. Shout out to Makesh, Zwai, and Kabel.
Nah,
Yeah,
it's my house.
yeah,
Yeah, man. I think over the years we've seen how much, the growth in music, the culture. Obviously then came, the internet, and then, things started to boom up. But I honestly feel like people who used to go to events back then,
Yeah.
listen to these artists, watch these artists perform. I feel like that was like pure authentic,
yeah.
Because listen, you don't have internet, you can't see these people. You only see them on TV. For those who had TVs, you can only hear them on radio.
Yeah.
That time, it's like compact discs that are still being sold, cassettes.
Yeah.
So I feel like those people, when there was an event, I feel like the hype was proper.
Those guys were real celebrities.
It
dude.
was
We don't have
real.
because now we've got access because of social media.
Exactly. Now people are
because
getting
of multiple
famous because
platforms.
of TikTok. And dude, like it's
You
just.
didn't mention YouTube.
YouTube is better. Listen, YouTube is better.
Yeah.
But TikTok is something else. It's like the 1 minute 30 seconds videos. YouTube, yeah, it is a platform as well. But like, look at how many of presenters now being found on TikTok.
Yeah, there's a lot actually.
You understand?
There's a lot.
So for those guys to do what they did,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you get artists in the interview saying that they used to go out and sell their CDs at the back of their cars,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and just park there in the mall and sell.
That's how Kalawa Jazzme actually gained momentum, because when they couldn't make a deal, with the bigger record companies,
Yeah.
which are called majors, they decided to do stuff on their own, and then they used to sell CDs from the booth, of their
You
car,
see,
and then
Their
the,
strategy, their
yeah,
strategy
and Lewu and Tembu used to perform. You know what I mean?
that's
Yeah, Tembu,
proper.
you were talking about their strategy.
Their strategy was through the culture at the street bash, if you remember very well.
Yeah.
Your Pisa Court, your Codesas,
Yes.
all of that. That's
Yeah.
where they sold most
Yeah.
of their album.
Yeah, and Tembu, we will go back to Walla music, but you remember we once had Bulldogs music.
Bulldog.
Yeah, Oscar Mlangeni and Nimrod Nkosi, they opened a record company which was called Bulldogs. You know the artists from Bulldogs?
Who was
There's
that?
three main ones. It's Msawawa, Mzambi, and Mshoza.
Oh, those kids from Zola.
Yeah, they're from
Oh, well,
Bulldogs.
they're no longer kids now.
And then Dok Shebeleza produced Spoonfed. Remember Spoonfed?
Kumfete.
Yeah, yeah. And then there was Ghetto Rough Music. And then Ghetto Rough Music, that's where Zola comes from. That's where Scheme, the group Scheme,
Yeah.
comes from. And then a lot of artists. I think Bafitli is also from Ghetto Rough. A whole lot of artists. I mean, later on, they will speak later about hip hop, where they now had Josie, Botales, Ishmael again. Ishmael is well traveled. That guy,
Yeah, man.
that guy has a mileage of music.
So
Yeah.
like I mentioned that, the evolution had changed, the culture had shifted. There was now this new generation
Yeah.
that we call like these young guys starting to come up, house music popping into the scene. Remember the likes of Soul Candy, where they had those compilations.
Yeah.
And
When you speak about the compilations and house music, before we get into Soul Candy, which is around the 2000s, but in the 90s, we had Bo Vinita Vinci, we had DJ Christos, we had Bo, House Flavor, by DJ Fresh. You had Mikonko Nelia Kabzela, ne? And then you had Glenn Lewis with the
yeah,
House Avenues, and then you had Bo Mtees.
Quintai.
You had both DJ Monde, you had Body Kwela. I'm not sure if Kwela ever released a compilation, but yeah, he was a DJ and a famous, at that time. And then you had a whole lot of DJs that was buying, or importing music, from overseas and buying the licenses, you know what I mean?
True.
And the rights, for them to put those songs into their compilations. Until later on, you had actually good producers that created their own house music. I mean, we can talk about Black Coffee, but before Black Coffee, we need to talk about DJ Christos. Produced his own music and produced artists. I mean, the success of Levi Matosa as a female artist, we can attribute that to the producer that he used to work with, which was DJ Christos. In fact, DJ Christos has done wonders. Unfortunately, Levo passed on into Levo's career. But talking about the artists or producers that made an impact, we had Oskido. Oskido made a huge impact.
Definitely.
We had DJ Cleo, who plays all the instruments that you can think of.
Yeah, that guy's good, man.
One of the best producers.
He's also like, I feel like someone in the industry that is not well appreciated.
Absolutely.
Because DJ Cleo's produced a lot of artists as well,
Yeah.
and he's a good producer, by
Yeah.
the way,
Yeah.
So people can say whatever that they want, but I think he deserves his flowers while he's still alive.
Yeah, Kofi is a good producer. Zwaibala is a good producer. Do you remember KP? No. KP used to produce for Zola.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what happened to him. One of the great producers as well. Tebu, I want us to talk about Afro pop. What comes into your mind when you talk about Afro pop?
I think of Tondisa first of all.
Yeah.
I think of all these Xhosa chicks. Who's that? Simpwetana, Bo Zahara, Bo. I want this other one. What she's called, man?
Chiskop.
Yeah. Zonke.
Chiskop though.
No, man. Who's this one? Not Chiskop, man.
Well, this days got element Chiskop.
I mean, there's this one.
Zolano Mahola.
That's Zonke. I think it's Zonke.
Zonke kileta Chiskop. Lira.
No, man. There's this other one. The one with the bald head.
Okay,
Wona
good.
lezo imdiga, wona
Oh,
uhlala
she's
The one who
amazing.
sings that song, man.
Which one?
She's a very matured lady, so man.
All of them are matured. I would think so.
Like, you get what I mean, man.
ile one ya.
Table. Why
So okay, let me just finish that Afro pop thing.
yeah.
When I think of Afro pop, I think of good quality vocalists. I think of
You are right.
proper African culture
Absolutely.
infused in that.
Absolutely.
I think of people who sing from the soul that want people to hear from the soul.
I agree.
That's for me. That's like how I resonate to Afro pop.
I agree with you. So Tebo, when I think about Afro pop, historically, by the way, the transition from disco to bubblegum music to Kwaito music, somewhere in between we had two artists, which one of my favorites. Remember we had Sharon D. We had in Dogos. Remember everybody say that was Sharon D. And if I'm not mistaken, that song was produced by DJ Christos. And then later on we had Jackknife. In fact, before Tendusa Mazwai, was in the group called Bongo Muffin. She used to sing with Jackknife. Do you know? That's Jackknife. That's Tendusa which is singing there. Okay, now fast forward to Afro pop. That's Tandis. At that time it was still called Jackknife before she joined Bongo Muffin. Okay, now let's talk about Afro pop, right? So for me, when you talk about Afro pop, dude, I need to take it Afro pop to back where it began. Also in the early 90s, right? We need to speak about Bo Jabu Kanyile, Bo Joe Nina, Bo Ringo. Dude, Joe Nina had hits for days. Joe Nina had hits after hit. Remember Bo Nom Tandazo. There's a whole lot of songs. Sbala Daily, whole lot of songs, and then obviously we know what Jabu Kanyile and Bayete did, and then we know what Ringo did. In fact, Ringo's song was Song of the Year on the South African Music Awards. I'm not sure whether it was 95 or 96, but somewhere there, it was Song of the Year. So I think the genesis of what is now called Afropop music started with those guys, and then later on we had big groups like Mafigizolo that took it like
Took it
to the next level,
yeah.
right?
But I feel like it changed the game
Yeah.
in terms of Afro pop, and because obviously they were a group, so it's kind of like who these guys,
Yeah.
and they, because I remember everyone needs to jump to my figures all. I mean, their catalog was just crazy. But you know what the funny thing is out of all that Afro pop that we've known from like the artists you've just mentioned, and what is happening now, I feel like now it no longer has that kind of substance to it.
Yeah, well,
Correct me if I'm wrong.
no, I don't think you're necessarily wrong, but before we go to that next level as to why is it not doing well, I feel like we need to mention other African Afropop artists that have done well. We need to talk about Bontando.
Yes.
We need to talk about Bo Vosinova. We need to talk about Malaika. Malaika was huge. I mean, their first 3 albums, one of the best Afropop albums ever. From Destiny to all the songs that they did.
Matwale.
Yeah, and at some point, even though it was not strictly or extreme Afropop, but we had Judith Sipuma with her first 2 albums. Remember that album that had Memozwadi? At that time, I mean, Judith Sipuma was winning everything, and she had those first 3 albums, which are the best albums that she did. And then later on we had a more soulful kind of Afropop. That's when Bo Simpiwe Dana came through. Tanisa released her solo albums, and it was more soulful. It was not the commercial Afropop as we know it. And then Zepa spoke about Bozo Mudiga, which are doing like the kind of similar music that Botandisa did. But then we know that the inspiration behind them is Busim Tlong.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, because I think you can hear even in the melody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they kind of have that, Busim song or kind of vibe.
Yes.
Because
They're-
I mean,
they're
let's be
chantings,
honest. Let's
Yeah.
just be honest.
Yeah.
Busim Hlongo her performances were just like life changing.
Spiritual. Energetic.
You see,
Dude.
it's what I spoke
There was,
about.
yeah.
So I think it's only fair to pay, a tribute to her in terms of let her legacy continue in that fashion.
Yeah, but before we move out from, Afro pop, I just like to mention one of the best producers to Afro pop, dude. We cannot leave this genre without mentioning Robbie Malinga. He produced for Mafikizolo, he produced for Zahara, produced for Kelly Kumalo.
He's passed, hasn't he?
Naima K. A lot of these, Afro pop guys, Robbie Malinga played, a huge role. I mean, he himself, he was an
artist.
An artist himself. Remember he started with Inzimbi. Inzimbi Ngayas. So yeah, shout out to Robbie Malinga. But we cannot talk about Robbie Malinga without also mentioning Zbuma Lawyer.
DJ Sboo.
Nah, Zbu. You don't know Zbuma Lawyer?
Who's Boomer Lawyer now?
Zbuma Lawyer, he also used to sing with TKZ Family. What is Zbuma Lawyer's famous song? Okay. You remember Mporom? That was Robbie Malinga and Zbuma Lawyer. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay. I'm a lawyer. I'm a lawyer. Bantu bomthetho, man. That's his song. That made him famous. That was Kwaito back then.
No,
And then obviously we need to speak about Brown Dash, Bomzegezege, that's TS Records. And the producers, Bo Lungelo, Bo DJ Cleo.
Yeah, definitely. I think they too played a huge role. Like, I'm still like saying, like, I'm just always wondering, ne? if those artists back then had this kind of, I don't want to say advertising, but it is of social media.
Sure.
Dude.
Yo, personally, I feel like if there was social media during those times, Brenda Fassie would be huge.
Dude.
Brenda was huge. Talking about Brenda, you know that Brenda Fassie was the first female, right, to get the best song of the year in the South African Music Awards. And for a long time, it was always been taken by males. I think after Brenda Fassie, I remember it was Mandoz. Then there was Ringo, then there was all males. I'm not sure if Mafikizolo once took Song of the Year, but I know that the other female who took Song of the Year after Brenda, after a long time, is Zahara. And then after Zahara, there was Holy Ray. You remember Holy Ray? I think it was Brenda. There was Zahara. And then there was Holy Ray. Why are you laughing, dude?
I'm just loving how you do the melody.
So, Brenda was the best. I feel like Lebo Matusa would have been the greatest international star at the moment.
No.
Because some of the choreography that she used to do, both Beyonce, they did it. Because they copied from her. Yes, I said it, guys. They did copy it from her. One of the best artists, performers, dancers. She could do everything.
But you're taking it that far.
I am taking it that far. You know why? Because there was a time whereby
the Beehive will be mad.
I don't care about the Beehive at the moment. I care about, the L hype. Yeah, Lebo Matosa. Lebo Matosa was one of the greatest performers, dude. Like, you cannot deny that. She could sing, she could dance, she could perform, she could do everything. When she released her solo album, which was Dream, before she released Drama Queen, she released, Dream. You remember like Torio. Yeah, and then before she did Bo Outdated, which was like the second, solo album. I guess book. Yeah, they ring after that. Oh yeah, how do you give it? Anyway,
why are you laughing, dude? Because I said spook.
Yeah, before if you look at the choreography, Beyonce.
Yeah.
When she did Crazy in Love, I think that was either her first or second solo album, right? If you look at that choreography, and then you look at the choreography that Lebu used to do when she released Dream and Drama Queen, go and look at that and tell me what you think. It's copy. But it's not copying, it's inspiration.
I don't know. I haven't watched it. I think I need to watch it.
You must ask.
And then I might have an informed
you must ask
opinion.
Tendi. You must ask Tandi. So they'll tell you that it's a copy. You must ask Nziki Mazwai as well.
Hey, that's very bold, bro. Like
anyway, we spoke about Kwaito.
Yeah.
From the 90s. Before that we spoke about bubblegum music, disco. How Kwaito, some of the biggest, producers in Kwaito, but we did not mention Mahuta and Mandla Spekir.
You did.
I did.
Yeah,
as the producers.
Yeah,
but
did.
Zepa, one of the best engineers that we never mentioned is that guy from Kalawa Jazzme, the one who works with Oscar, is part of BOP from Northwest. Oh my goodness, yo. I feel like that guy doesn't get the respect that he deserves. Bruce Sibito, shout out to Bruce.
Sibito.
One of the best engineers, one of the best producers. We don't give him, much respect. So from Classified Culture, podcast, Bruce, one of the best.
No, yeah, shout out, bro. I think you said a lot about, the 90s and the music and pop culture and African, I'd want to say the African authenticity of how the music was back then.
Mm-hmm.
But then now let's shift into what do you think the music now, and I want to touch on these three genres specifically. Boom, Amapiano and hip hop.
All right.
Let me finish this.
Okay.
What do you think made them to be so big? Well, now because hip hop is getting a bit of a downer in terms because now my piano is just kicking everybody out. But what do you think out of those three genres? What do you think makes them authentically South African?
I'll start with hip hop.
I knew it. I just knew that you were gonna
No.
go there.
You know why I start with hip hop? Because remember, like Mapiano as well as Tom, they came after hip hop, local hip hop.
Yes, true.
Yeah, so it's only fair for us to start, with local hip hop.
Chronologically, okay.
So the pioneers of South African hip hop as we know it today, we have to talk about Prophets of the City, right? Reddy D was there, and I believe Ishmael was there as well. I believe Junior Sokela from Pumshak was also part of Prophets of the City. Cape Town, Johannesburg, group that, was one of the pioneers, of, South African hip hop. But then we have to talk about Kodesa, which is a 3-girl or woman group. One of my personal best favorite song. If you don't know Kodesa, please go to YouTube and type Kodesa. They're from Cape Town. One of the first, female hip hop groups in South Africa. One of the best songs that they say says, "I wanna get rid of all this stuff." That's one of the best lines. That like I feel like it's one of the best lines in South African hip hop. And then it goes something like this. Like when they see when the guys, see them, right? From, Cape Flats and whatever, and they go like, "Oh, I don't know, because we all had flat chest." Yo, dude, I was like the way that they're describing, their lives, there is like so open, so direct. It's so proper, dude. Lyrically, they're very strong. So go and research about Kodesa. But moving from Kodesa and Prophets of the City, you had Ammunition, who once stayed in the United States and obviously came back in the country. Ammunition is one of the best, is the pioneer, is the principal. And then from Ammunition, then you had Mr. Selvin. But I feel like where South African hip hop gained momentum, and commercial success, is with Squatter Camp. I mean, we all know what Squatter Camp did with that album Yamoya. Dude, they won awards. By the way, do you know that Zoipala once won best hip hop at the South African Music Awards?
Zoipala?
Imagine.
For which song?
For an R&B song, I think. That was when the South African Music, awards were still biased.
Yeah.
And it was called the Jazz Awards, and something like that. Anyway, back to hip hop. So, what are some of your best, for now, let's say Squatter Camp songs?
For now,
Yeah.
Squatter Camp. Are they still producing?
No. They are best songs back in the days when they were still like hot.
I think Umoya, the Clap song. Yeah, I think those were the ones that I think were like somehow the national anthem.
Yeah.
When you thought of Squatter Camp, like Umo, yeah, and then King.
The clap song.
The Clap song, yeah, the Clap song.
Eh, mama, livumile. One of my favorites. And then obviously the guys went solo table. Then you had mostly Cabo Sugar Smacks, going solo. Then you had one of the guys who was called My Man, who did a hip hop album, and one of the singles featured Lebu Matosa. You can go and research it. That guy is called My Man. And you had my personal favorite, Mr. Selvin. That album, yeah, Ammunition, which has Crazy. You can add Crazy if you want to. Just act stupid. I support you. Also, Kwela vibe, dude. And then there's the same album has Attention. I love that song as well. And then you have Mr. Selvin, who released Shake. And then from that Township Frequency, which was a group which was made up of Northend, Northend, Mr. Selvin, Ammunition, and Wicked. Wicked released a diss song. Guys, if you don't know who Wicked is, go to YouTube at the moment and type Wicked the Man. He was dissing everyone at that time, including Bomandoza and Atola Club.
Hey, but what happened? Oh. Like, maybe he needs to get it up and to himself.
And then they were still talking about commercial success when it comes to local hip hop. Now we are getting deep into it, dude. You had Double HP.
I knew you were gonna go there.
You had
For
Pro
obvious
Kid.
reasons.
You had Double HP. You had Pro Kid.
Pause pop. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, so I feel like when I asked the question that I asked you,
Yeah.
I feel like Bo Pro, Bo Double HP, these were the guys that took rapping in vernac and just made it a thing whereby even if you don't understand what they're saying, but the melody, the music, the lyrics, the beats, they just like that was proper hip hop.
Shout out to local hip hop, producers.
Yeah, so shout out, yeah. As I'm saying, like that was pure hip hop, dude. And for them to find the market for that,
amazing.
Amazing. And it opened a lot of doors, I'd say, to other artists as well. Because remember, hip hop was seen off as an American thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was sort of like there's this culture that we need to follow. And remember, that's during like early 2000s, where it was like baggy jeans. I think when you speak about the
whole culture.
Yeah, like what's this guy who does idols now? Proverbs. Yeah, he was like you could see that there was American influence in his style, in his music,
which historically has always been there. I mean,
true.
Most of the genres that South African have up until today, somehow we've been influenced by American music and American genres. You know what I mean? Including hip hop. We just added the South African flavor and the South African indigenous languages, because by that time when hip hop used to be like underground, when it was not commercial, they didn't do so much, money, and was not played on the radio. It's because it was too American, right? American beats, they used English, but once they started to fuse it, with indigenous, languages, indigenous sound, that's where it was commercialized. And thanks to the guys from Double HP, when he created Motswako, Stone, I swear, Double HP. No, we're not being hip hop.
He was throwing shade.
With all due respect.
You're always throwing.
With all due respect.
He's always throwing shade.
We talk. no we talk ono re ke mokwena o re bohale ba taba so tshabela.
Yeah. Well, so
Yeah.
in it as much as I'm saying that, you know, that on its own was a skill, you know, and I think I still remember when like Paul came out and
Sure.
like people went mad, like bruh, like
Tebuka, I feel like I wanna do like one line of Pro Kid.
no,
Okay.
the mic is yours.
That's my favorite song, yeah, Pro Kid. By the way, guys, like I used to be like a hip hop head myself when I was like in high school, right? And then I mentioned Mr. Selvin, and I'm just one of like the best. But then I also have to mention Pro Kid, right? Pro Kid did a song called Soweto, guys. Like, yo, the beat, the rhymes, everything. And then he said, I'm from the southwestern township where we get down, kid. Usually get smacked if you act like a clown, kid. Smile at day, turn around, cracking the front, kid. Who the hell are you asking me where I'm from? Dude! That guy killed the game, dude. No one ever did it like Pro Kid. We have to agree.
No, yeah, Paul still is, and I think he'll forever remain a legend, you know, in terms of when you understand hip hop.
Yeah.
And when you from a township,
Yeah.
like it kind of like resonates. Like the song you just said now,
Yeah,
you know. It's like you feel the
Dude.
authenticity and you feel what is trying to portray
Yeah.
in his message. Yeah,
And you know, before he died, I was with him, eh?
I remember.
Yeah. Said
and that other person that we
yeah.
don't want to talk
Yeah,
about.
no.
That had
Yeah.
children.
No. Let's continue. Okay, Tebu. Wait. Let's focus. Let's focus.
I don't wanna go there, man.
Let's focus.
It's just
So they were still on hip hop,
still-
dude. Ne?
it's okay.
There was Dukes. There was Marabi. And then if you go back, remember Bafitlile? There was Bafitlile back in the early 90s before Motswagwa. Actually, I feel like it was started by Bafitlile. Before Bo WHP, Bo Dukes, Bo Kulichana, Bo Marabi, Bo JR. Then Bafitlile was there. Remember with the Tom Bafitlile. And then they also like did a song with Theo. Avuga ntombi ungathi umuhle kangaka. Yeah, it's one of their. There we go. You know, it's one of their songs. You know that became a commercial success. And then there was Hidden Force. What's your favorite Hidden Force song, though?
I don't have a favorite hidden force.
You know what's mine?
So,
Remember, dun, 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 because I was drunk. Remember that song? You know that's Hidden Force, dude. Anything that you need to add about local hip hop?
like hence I asked the question, honestly. So, in the context of hip hop, and the other two genres I mentioned being Bubblegum and Mapiano, like the authenticity of the music, the authenticity of the culture, is it still like prevalent till this day?
It's not.
Or is everything now being boiled or let me say compressed into now it's a culture of we have to make music, because music for now it honestly doesn't carry much weight, as if like they're not classics.
You think so?
Dude, you can't tell me now a song
so?
that came out 5 years ago still holds the same energy that it did.
But that's what our parents used to say about Kwaito in the 90s as well.
Yeah, but Kwaito is
But for us,
it's a lifestyle.
insane because we still have memories of Kwaito.
But now look at how much producers are producing now. It's always, and look at the number of artists that are there. Do you get what I mean? So it's almost like an influx of music that is pumped into society, and then that music is trying to promote what?
But I feel like, you know, most of our music was influenced by the American or European sound. You know what
No,
I mean?
I get that. True.
So if you go to our previous channels that we spoke about, from the 1950s, jazz music, Marabi music.
No, I get
it
that.
was infused mostly with, including gospel music, by the way.
My question
but
is,
I want to answer your question, right? But before I answer your question, I want to give you like a background and a foundation before. You know what I mean? Most of our music were influenced, including we spoke about the choir music, which was influenced by the missionaries, of that time. We spoke about the influence of jazz, blues, from the American sound. So your question is, why is Amapiano so popular? And it has sort of relegated other music genres such as hip hop. And then my answer to you is that if you look at hip hop,
I didn't ask that question.
What is your question?
My question is the influence of these three genres, right?
Yeah.
And the substance that it holds in terms of our culture. Is it still like something that is like authentic?
Okay.
Never mind the creativity. I get that.
Yeah.
But that's what I said. It's not classical music now. It's not something like a song that was popular 5 years ago. When you listen to it today, it's like, oh well, yeah, I remember that song.
I think I did understand your question exactly. And then my answer, just like to continue where I left off before, is because if you look at that music from hip hop going backwards, right? Mostly it was music that was influenced by the American sound. We know that the genesis of hip hop, is from America, right? Especially the Black American culture. You know what I mean? When they speak about their socio-political issues, that's what inspired South Africans, because we could resonate with that. But the distinct thing about Gqom, as well as Amapiano, is the authentic South African sound, which is not infused with any foreign sound. It's the identity sound. Because if you look at, or if you hear Amapiano, Gqom, and lately Bacardi, it's authentic South African sound, South African lyrics. You know what I mean? Is heavily influenced, by the culture of South African townships.
Does it have substance though?
While it's doing well internationally, more than any genre that we had before.
Because that's what I said. Because of social media, the likes of TikTok. Now there's dance challenges to a song. Makes them popular, right?
Yeah, I mean,
but is it something that is substance? Like, is that type of music when you listen to? It's like, yeah, this is South African, but does it hold that substance?
Well, I think
it's just for, I feel,
yeah,
produce, get the numbers, done.
Well, I think we will hold different opinions based on that. It's relative. It really depends on your opinion as an individual, how you feel about music in general, and Amapiano specifically. But I think Amapiano is doing well internationally. It's the biggest export in terms of the genres that we've had in South Africa, and it's a unique South African sound. We have finally got our identity, which is not infused with anything. And shout out to the guys like Mapurisa, shout out to Kamompela, shout out to all the artists, something Soweto, who actually did well in terms of the vocals. And then we had who are the other guys? Angelique, because he's your friend.
And you've never mentioned Kabza. You haven't even mentioned Kabza, like.
And then there's Kabza the Small. Who else?
No, I'm not saying that they're not doing well.
Shout out to Joby.
Excuse me. I'm not saying that.
What's he?
No, it's just that you remember what happened the last time we saw him.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not saying that it must be so. Like our music is not, putting us out there. Sharp, it is. All I'm saying is it doesn't have substance. Like, do you get what I mean?
It's your opinion, and
it's music.
You are entitled to your opinion.
If it was a production line, it would be a continuous production line. Like, but it would be like making milk. It's like boom, 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 boom.
Fortunately, not at 2000. I'm not expecting you to be an expert on Mapiano.
It's true.
You are not at 2000.
True, but all I'm saying is At some point, what they're promoting is vibe culture.
Quite
Events culture.
Dude, have you heard songs that spoke age? Have you heard songs that? Have you heard the Pilata spoke age? Have you heard the Pilata Snyaka? Chesampama.
Yeah. That's real.
Akena wana morena. Athola wana makerekeng ya hae. Ba kentse eng? Baba ba kentse ba rikwa silk. Araba sheba. Agela ntlwaele. Ke pina nte.
That was authentic.
Ba re wahla mpama.
Just some bum.
I mean, what's that?
Those are real things.
Seriously?
Do you get that?
Then you criticize Mapiano.
Now,
when we used to have those songs.
Now, Uncle Fama, what the fuck? What the hell is that?
Tembi sang, I can't even get up.
I can't even get
I don't know what can I do with myself. I don't know what. I can't even get
Which is factual. There's nothing sexual about that.
Mamela verse. Obata, ki ketse.
I can't even get
Obata, ki ketse.
Dude,
then you want to criticize Mapiano.
I'm not criticizing.
Abuti ontere. Ontere amanati. Aksa khona bitwara.
No, I'm not like this gentle brother's treating me well. I can't contain myself anymore.
Yeah, but you see the bottom line.
But you didn't get to after that.
You spoke about substance, right? And then if you spoke about substance, you cannot just isolate Mapiano. I mean, even Kwaito was criticized for the same things that they criticized.
Mapiano is doing a lot, guys.
I mean, like some of the best vocalists, some Mapiano that we need to respect in terms of their lyrical, content, and
songs,
and the way in which they respect, the music. I mean, Nkosazana's daughter.
I look at Bobo's songs like
we need to speak about something Soweto.
Yeah,
we need to speak about Bo Buhle. Have you heard Buhle sing?
Buhle, oh. No, listen. I'm saying there
she
are
sings
songs like
so well.
One of I think the song that was like
Youngster.
Seed.
Youngster is one of the Russell Zuma is like Russell Zuma is insane. Russell Zuma is insane.
Who's this? I'm like.
But Masekela doesn't do Mapiano.
Oh, that song.
But that's house music. It's not Mapiano though.
It is Mapiano
though. Table, let's speak about Gom quickly.
Gom.
Yeah.
The last time I had Gom, we in Devon.
Yeah.
With Bra Steve.
Shout out Steven.
I think it was 2018.
Yeah.
That's when Mapiano was starting to kick in.
Yeah.
Actually it was in.
Yeah.
In Gauteng.
Yeah.
We got there. So like, let's go out, obviously. And then we get to a place and we're like, that time the favorite song was Umshove.
And that's Mapiano. That's Kabza.
It was playing everywhere.
That was like the song at my wedding.
We get there like, hey, bro, like, don't you know Umshove? Dude, they played home. Like, I've never had private school home.
Yeah.
Till I went to Devon.
Dude.
But one thing I like about that music, I think they understand it. They know how to dance for it too.
Absolutely.
I don't know what they do with it, but yeah, that's proper.
I think the where Gom comes from, it's from Eastern Cape as well as KZN, Durban and Port Elizabeth, and the people that we need to give props to in terms of the popularity of Gom music, DJ Leg, guys, DJ Leg, Distraction Boys.
Yeah.
I mean, DJ Leg took Gom internationally
and
to UK. Then there was Distraction Boys.
Who's the singer?
And then there was Mampincha, Babes Wodumo, Fisherman, all the guys that worked with Tira, so many of them. They put Gom in. But I feel like Gom didn't last long because like Maporisa made sure that he's gonna kill it with Mapiano. Because
I don't think he meant for that to happen the way we were cutting.
Yeah.
I don't think that he meant that to happen, but I feel like Mapiano it became another thing that when it came in, everyone wanted to do it. Everyone had their own creativity.
Yeah.
And it took this culture, and
Yeah.
of course, like I say, because of social media, it then made it to be this popular thing that is out there,
Yeah.
and our artists as well going,
Yeah, Tebo, I wish that we had enough time to speak about music because
Right.
there's so much that we could talk about. I mean, we still haven't talked about what AKA and Casper did, what Questa did in the hip hop.
It's just so much to cover,
There's
guys.
so much to cover. But so, guys, if you want us to have like a third, installment, please, email us, write to us, comment to us. We would have it. But basically, this is
We're
our
probably going to do it outside.
yeah. Not inside the studio. But for now, I think we've pretty much had fun. I think we've mostly covered what we wanted to talk about.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, it's
And
Classified Culture Podcast.
guys, don't
Yeah.
forget, like, subscribe, follow. Today's been one of those episodes where, excuse me, we don't know where our ninjas are, but we got
Yeah, we don't know where Sydney is. We don't know where Sai is. As far as I'm concerned, we had
got
to
the nephew
through
here.
the grapevine or Baba Shapil. Baba Klapin.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
guys, don't forget, guys, Classified Culture Podcast. We know we've kept you in the loop for quite some time, but certain things that are personal have been happening in our lives, and we needed to deal with that first, so that when we come here, we are well organized, ready to present, ready to share our views and opinions with everyone. From me, Debza and Fiso Kunene, I think we'll call it a wrap today. And
It's a
thank you
wrap,
for
guys.
joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. So please watch out for this episode. We thank you so much. Go and tell your girlfriends, tell your friends. Please subscribe. It's very important.
Hallelujah.
For us to continue with this mandate. Of our Classified Culture Podcast, whereby we bring Kasi. It's a virtual imbies, as we always said it. From us, all of us in the studio. Thank you very much, Deep, who has handled stuff alone, behind the scenes. From myself and Debu.
Always.
Thank you.